All right, well, I am thrilled to introduce our speakers for today. First up, we have Ty Shahadi. He is the head of strategic partnerships at Restaurant 365. With extensive experience in hospitality tech and a proven track record of driving growth and nurturing successful partnerships, Ty has a unique perspective shaped by his roots in restaurant operations. His commitment to enhancing the guest experience by focusing on employee experience is driven by a genuine passion for the hospitality industry. As an owner of a bar and restaurant, Ty leverages his first-hand insights to inform his work, consistently aiming to elevate the hospitality industry with innovative and impactful solutions. Joining Ty today is Nick Eastwood, president of Always Food Safe. With 35 plus years of food service industry experience, Nick leads Always Food Safe, an ANSI-accredited provider of online food protection manager, food handler, and allergen awareness courses. Passionate about making food safety training engaging and effective, he pioneered a learner-focused, video-based approach that helped over 250,000 professionals and 85,000 businesses enhance their food safety practices. As a CFPM board member, he collaborates with industry leaders to advance food safety standards. Now I'll pass it along to Ty to walk us through the agenda and dive into the presentation. Ty, off to you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much, Denise. Yeah, so today we have a jam-packed agenda. We're going to start with just a couple of things we're going to highlight on the state of the restaurant operations today, specifically around labor. We're going to talk a little bit about R365's employee training platform, ExpandShare, and some of the new exciting features there. Going to pass it over to Nick to talk about Always Food Safe and the Always Food Safe certifications that can be ran through the R365 platform. And then, of course, we're going to open it to a Q&A at the end to make sure that we have time to answer all of your questions. So with that being said, I will dive right in. So as I mentioned, I think it really it makes sense before we dive in to get a sense of of what's happening in the market. What are you all dealing with when it comes to labor, and how hard is it to find and keep employees, and what are the numbers saying? Are you all in the same boat, or is it something that might be unique to your individual restaurants? So here's what we know. What we know is that a well-trained, engaged staff is your greatest asset. But we also know that staffing is a huge pain point, especially in the high turnover segment like QSR. What we got, Restaurant 365 did a state of the restaurant labor survey, and some of the numbers I think will be a little bit surprising to you. What we saw is that nearly a third of respondents said that finding and keeping talent was their top challenge. So how is this impacting their business? Well, in a really big way, when we see over 7 out of 10 of those respondents are operating below full capacity because of it. So obviously this is going to be a recipe for missing revenue targets, staff burnout, and keeping that revolving door of employees spinning. A great solution to this challenge is to drive higher staff retention through better training. When you have processes in place to train your team, to give them confidence, to empower them to perform at a high level, even with a lean team, they'll be able to do more and have a lower chance of burning out. So that's why 35% of respondents reported that they plan on focusing on the employee, including staff training, and that being a top priority this year. You really can't operate without your people. So if you train them well and treat them well, your team and your guests will be extremely thankful for it. Here are some other numbers I think that might be a bit more eye-opening. Just over half of new hires in restaurants, specifically QSRs, last 90 days or make it to the 90-day mark with an average tenure being only 56 days. That pales in comparison to the national average across industries of about a little over 4 years. It's probably not surprising, but employees at that do not receive a comprehensive training are 5 times less likely to hit that 90-day mark. But if employees do make it to the 90 days mark, they're 3 times more likely to stay longer than a year. So the big question is, how do we get them to that 90 days? How do we get them past it? And with wages on the rise and turnover averaging just over 130%, labor costs are going to continue to rise, but it's even more costly to lose an employee. So, about how costly is it? It's almost $6,000 per employee, and about $30,000 for a manager. So, here's a quick breakdown from recruiting to training to productivity loss. The cost of turnover hits the restaurant in a number of different areas, and that number doesn't even include or doesn't take into consideration the impact on customer satisfaction, which has a direct impact on traffic through your door and top line revenue. So if we annualize these numbers for a typical QSR running at 120% turnover, this can mean over $230,000 in turnover costs each year. If we cut off just say 20% of that, the question then becomes, what could you do with an extra $40,000 to $50,000 per location per year? One of our QSR customers, Marco's Pizza, saw a 7-figure cost savings from 2024 to 2023 by trimming turnover by around 15%. 15, 1-5, not 50, 50. So what's the path forward? The restaurant industry, it has to continue to evolve and rethink its labor strategies. It has to be focused on training, career development, and workplace culture to build a stable, engaged workplace. And one way that I think Restaurant 365 can help is by diving a little bit deeper into our employee training platform called ExpandShare. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about ExpandShare. For me, when I think about implementing any type of new software or process into my daily workflow, it has to be easy or I won't do it. You and your teams have enough on their plates, so you'll see that easy is going to be a common theme throughout the presentation and throughout the ExpandShare product. From the setup, it's very easy to get started. We have a built-in wizard that helps guide you through the process of getting your content in and organized within the platform. You're also teamed up with an onboarding coach that can provide more of that one-on-one guidance. When you're ready, your employees are automatically added and organized by role and location and assigned the materials that you have set for those specific roles. If there's any training content that you want to distribute, but you don't have today, we have a builder built into the tool that allows you to easily create and translate that content with the press of a button, or use the AI features that we have within the tool to help you create it. In addition to that, our training platform comes equipped with what we call our training marketplace, where you can access over 630 ready-to-go training courses and checklists that you can pull down into your instance and build into your team's training and distribute out to your teams. You can even make edits to our content to make it more relevant for your specific team. From trainings on like phone etiquette and drive-through service, compliance trainings, dealing with unruly customers to leadership and management training. We have some high quality content to meet you where you are with your training content. Whether you're just getting started, building out your curriculum, or you need some supplemental content for what you already are doing today or what you've already created, we've got you covered. In addition to that, our goal is to consolidate a lot of the trainings that your teams are doing today into one place. So whether it's that state specific sexual harassment, ANSI certified food safety, replacing ServSafe, which my friend Nick will talk about more here shortly. It's going to get it all into that into a simple path that will look like a digital checklist for your learners, and it'll just be really a one-stop shop when it comes to their training needs. And a big piece, like I just mentioned a second ago, a big piece to making things easy is automation. So your managers can automate the adding of employees and the distribution of training tasks. This means your managers aren't stuck doing repetitive work like grading menu tests or things like that, and they could spend more time on the floor enhancing guest experience and driving sales. Our platform also supports multiple languages and with truly a push of the button translation, making your training accessible and adaptable to every single employee. Speaking of translations, we provide the ability to easily translate content throughout the platform. So from being able to build courses and checklists in English and selecting the language to allow your learners to take it in their preferred language, to push button translations on our news feeds posts or within our AI chatbots. This makes it easy to provide materials that are easy to consume for your entire team. And then one other AI tool we provide to you is an AI quiz generator. So once you get your training materials into the system, and then you can let the system draft up a quiz for you quickly. You have the ability to edit and customize it from there, but it at least kind of gets you past any writer's block you might have, or it really just saves you that much needed time. This is really great for for LTO launches or any new rollouts where you need to make training quickly, and you have to get it out to the entire team to make sure that they're on the same page. So I know this all probably sounds amazing and easy, but you're also feeling like no matter how easy it is, if I'm not giving you a 25th hour in the day, it still sounds a little bit overwhelming. And while I can't give you that 25th hour, I can assure you that our team and this product is built to meet you where you are and give you the tools and the resources tailored specifically to your needs. Beyond that marketplace I mentioned of ready-made courses, um, we also have the ability to provide a team of resources to help infuse your brand into your trainings. We have a creative production team that's here to help and can develop custom coursework that reflects your restaurant's culture, menu, and unique style. And I want to pause there and kick it to Denise to do a little poll.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so instructional material access. How does your team access training and instructional materials once orientation is complete? So we got online database, printed materials, direct questions, or ad hoc lists. They don't access it and just wing it, or you don't know. So we'll leave this up here a little bit and we'll share our answers. Just looking for a little bit more participation, so just a little bit longer. All right, we'll go ahead and end the poll there. Share the results. All right, looks like online database took it out there. All right, go ahead and stop sharing and kick it back over to you, Ty.
Cool, thank you. So for me, when I think about the team using it, it's really that same thing that I think about us using it, and it's got to be easy for them. So let's keep that trend going. All of those training items that I mentioned before, they all can get pulled into what we call a learning track, or in essence, a digital list of things to do. So that list today for you might look like a training binder, or maybe a clipboard with a with a checklist on it. But whether whether it's a checklist, a handbook, a video, a document, or any type of media, it can be organized and distributed to the team. In addition to that, all of the shoulder to shoulder training that you're doing today can be observed and tracked as part of this path. Um, as as the or and the user can also see their career path, their opportunity for growth, or even the items that they need to complete if they want to be ready to move on to the next level, right in their user profile. You can allow the employees to be proactive. Let's say somebody wants to be a shift leader, or they're a server and they want to be a bartender. They can take the initiative, and they can do that training. They can move ahead and take that training, or you can make it where you have to assign that training out to them. Different than most learning management systems or training platforms, we also incorporate operational checklists into the system. This allows you to not just train the team, but then ensure that they're doing the things that they were taught the right way, um, and they're effectively completing their shift. Whether it's daily checklists like opening and closing checklists, or periodic ones like fire safety, they can be created, administered, and tracked, right from a mobile device, right in the same app that they're doing the training, and tasks can be assigned to them the same way that training is. Another feature is, we have a team communication tool, like a social media style newsfeed. This gives you the ability to communicate out to the entire team, or to groups of people, or just to individuals. And what we found, and is that typically communication is a really tough part of the restaurant. If you think about doing a pre-shift, I used to run a steakhouse. We had servers that came in at 4, 4:30, 5:30. If I wanted to do one pre-shift, it was really tough to do. Um, and this kind of streamlines that. I can send my pre-shift message out to the entire team. I can track that they've seen it, that they've consumed it. It could be text, it could be an image, it could be a video, it could be multiple forms, and they can comment on it. You can also send out recognition, or you can just make sure that you're getting information out when you need to the right people. It's even harder if your staff speaks multiple languages, and it makes this tool even more effective, because every post can be instantly translated. The learner's just they're gonna go down to the bottom. They're gonna select the post and then select translate into whichever language they prefer. We have up to 85 languages. Another feature for me, this tool is probably my favorite, because when I think back to being in the restaurant, I think about when I get out of training, how tough it was for me to get my hands back on the materials that I learned in case I needed a refresher, or um, if I forgot something. Typically I was just going to a manager and asking the question. So our library module really changes that time and need on the fly access to information, whether it's anything that you have in your training, whether it's documents, um, videos, images, links to a YouTube video on how to clean the fryer, which whatever it might be, you can house in your library. It's everything in the library can be permission based. It can be permission to different roles. So GMs see something different than the frontline employees do. And then once the content is in the library, it's easy. It can be easily searched, but it's also going to go into what's called a knowledge base, and then your site's going to train itself on all of the content that you put within the library. So I know that having a library that's easily searchable and has document level search is great, but we all know that Gen Z and Gen Alpha need their answers even quicker than that. So we've built right into the library, an AI chatbot, and your team can ask it any question about any content within the library, and it will give them an instant answer as well as point them to where it found the answer. So whether it read the transcript of a video you put in there, or there's a document that that had the answer, like I need to know if I need to wear slip resistant shoes, or if the buffalo sauce is gluten free. I can easily ask that question, get it answered, and then it's going to point me to where it got that answer. It's really like having a certified trainer in their back pocket at all times on demand. And then having that having access to that information is important, but having access to know what's going on in your restaurant is extremely important for you. And that's a big struggle when we look at some of the more legacy ways of how we trained within the restaurant, knowing if shoulder to shoulder training is happening, knowing where somebody stands, where a new hire stands in their new training, or or rolling out an LTO, different things like that. It was really hard to see at the top who knew what within your restaurant. And now there's really ease of access to reporting in here. Everything can be permission based up and down the hierarchy, on certifications, on courses, on exams, even down to individual questions within a test or a quiz. You can get reporting on. And the tracking reporting is also on the operational checklist, and it lives in the same dashboard as well. And then one of my favorite pieces of getting that instant feedback is you can see where your knowledge gaps are. You can quickly and easily get a view of the AI chatbot history, so you can see what questions the teams are asking. Are different people asking the same question? Is there a common thread that maybe you need to create, or send out a reinforcement training? And this is a you know this is a nice way to be polling your employees without actually polling them, because they're asking questions, but instead of asking a manager, they're asking a chatbot, but you're still seeing what they're asking. And with that, that's the bulk of the ExpandShare platform. That's a quick flyover. And the one thing I touched on earlier was how we pull in the ANSI certified food safety. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Nick to talk a little bit about Always Food Safe and their food safety certifications.
Thank you, Ty. Much appreciated. Okay, kind of before I start the presentation, I just want to pick up on a couple of things that Ty said. Training is essential for staff retention. That is probably the biggest thing to say today. The staff want to feel wanted, they need to feel appreciated, and as a result, they tend to stay longer. That's kind of the most important thing. And food safety, it's essentially about protecting the customer, but also your business reputation. That's why you're doing it, to ensure your business is safe. If you have a food poison outbreak, it can severely damage the reputation of your business, and most often they'll close. So that's kind of what food safety training is about: protecting your customer and, as importantly, your business. And we also tend to find most food safety outbreaks, most mistakes happen within the first 30 days of somebody being employed. So again, it's not your experienced staff that's going to make the mistakes, it's the people who are new to your business. And we kind of very much say, get them trained as quickly as you can. It's just about protecting that business. Okay, so who is Always Food Safe? We are an ANSI-accredited supplier of food safety training. That will be food handler, food protection manager, and allergen awareness. The important point to note is we are accepted by all state and local health inspectors. They must accept the certificate. What products we do, as you can see there, the most important one you'll find is the food protection manager. It is a legal and mandatory requirement across all 50 states, and it's the one thing that the health inspector is going to look for. In many states as well, food handler is a requirement. That's usually for your hourly employees, your servers, maybe your sous chefs. Certain states require it, other states require that they receive the training. So that's an important point. Many companies will tend to use food handler training such as ours across, if they've got a nationwide outlets, just to make sure continuity of training. We also have allergen awareness. This is a growing threat in the US, and we are seeing more and more states now want people to have at least an understanding of allergens and how it can affect somebody. So kind of from that side, food protection manager, that's the main one that you probably will be concentrated on. Okay, who needs it? I think I've kind of covered that one. Every single business that serves customers or even gives away food free, for example, a charity, has to have certified food protection manager on staff. Some states it's one in a business. Some states it's actually they have to be there on staff at all times when a restaurant's open. So that can be up to say 3 managers in a business. So you have to have it. Everybody knows about it. And can we please go to the next slide? What a short slide. Okay, what are the benefits from Always Food Safe compared to the competitor, the main competitor? I think the big thing for us is we are video based. All our training is filmed in kitchens. We show good practice, we show bad practice, we add humour to the course. We understand that most learners don't want to do the training, they kind of have to do it for legal requirements, and we make it as fun and engaging as possible. Like I said, so when we talk about temperature probing, we'll get a chicken, we'll get a temperature probe and basically show how to do it properly. From a business's perspective, probably our biggest point is the fact that we offer 2 exam attempts, and especially at manager level. That can be a considerable cost saving to a business. So if somebody fails, don't panic. They have another chance to do it. Obviously, the training's there whenever they need it as well. So yeah, we different from the competitor whose name I won't mention just yet. But we try and make it fun. We try and make it engaging, and we actually want the learner to learn, and we want it to stick, not just for passing the exam, but also kind of basic food safety skills that you need day in, day out. So that's kind of our mission. And I know I'm repeating myself, we care very much about the learner. Okay, I said I wouldn't mention them. Who is ServeSafe? They are obviously our biggest competitor in the market. Very well known. They're very much kind of the Kleenex of the industry. You say Kleenex roll in a tissue. You'll often hear, it has to be ServeSafe. It's not actually true. It has to be ANSI, ANSI accredited. That's what a health inspector, state and local, are looking for, and that's what they'll see on the certificate. ServeSafe are very similar to us. They're a certification provider, and as we grow in the business, we are becoming more and more accepted. So yeah, is it ServeSafe? No, it isn't, but it's exactly the same, and I think that's the bit. Also, with regards to the fact that we offer 2 exam attempts, our pass rates are significantly higher. First pass rates tend to be approximately 86%. With the second exam attempt free of charge, that pass rate goes to 99%. So, you're almost guaranteed that somebody will pass one of our exams. Okay, proctoring. You probably already know this as well. The manager exam has to be proctored. Basically, there has to be somebody there to ensure that cheating doesn't take place. There's 2 options we can do. You can use a remotely proctored exam company, which we offer. The beauty of that is you can log on whenever you want. You can set an exam test up immediately. You don't have to wait a week or 2 weeks to go to a test centre. There is a cost for that, and obviously that's in the package that we provide. But you basically one person can take the exam whenever they want, 24/7. The other way for business, and this is where if you have multiple locations, you can save quite a lot of money. You can internally proctor. You will be set up as a proctor. It's a small training course and an exam to prove that you've passed it, and then you can proctor the exams. Again, the role is to ensure that cheating doesn't take place, and that's kind of the role in the business. It is fully online, is that system. It walks and talks you through it. So If you're visiting one of your restaurants and somebody has finished the training and is ready to take the exam, fine. Jump on your laptop, set up an exam immediately and let that person take it. So within 45 minutes of saying, I want to take the exam, you can have that person do it, pass. You'll get an immediate result as well, and then you can move on to doing what else you do in the business. So it offers a superb flexibility as well as cost saving. Thank you. The next one we're going to talk about is kind of a case study. Reef is obviously a pretty big account with 120 kitchens across the US. Where we have proved very successful is where we can literally automate all this training information. So when we can set you up, for example, Reef 120 locations with 120 proctors. You will see in that location the staff coming in, who've taken the training, who've taken the exam, what are the pass, what is fail rate, and also it leaves a copy of the certificate there. So if a health inspector comes into your business and says, show me your training compliance, at the press of the button, it's immediately there. That's great for one restaurant. If you have multiple restaurants, like I said, 120 is a lot, but if you have 5 restaurants, 10 restaurants, you will have that head office ability of looking down into each an individual restaurant, seeing how the training is getting on. One restaurant will have 100% pass rate, everybody's going fine. Another restaurant may say have 30% people have engaged. You know, you can then focus your time on ensuring that happens. So it's the beauty of it. We provide all that information back to you. You don't have to do anything. It's there and ready if you need it. If you don't need it, fine. But it's a great way of pleasing the health inspector. They come in to see that you're on top of your training. Thank you. They'll go and then probably look to another business that may not have that type of protection. So I think that's that slide. And I think hopefully that's the last slide you'll get from me. So thank you for listening. I appreciate it. And one last point, like I said, training is essential. Your staff need to feel wanted, stay longer, and they're there to protect, your customer and, as importantly, your business reputation. So thank you from me.
Great. Thank you, Nick. And I have one more poll for everybody here. Would you like to learn more information about Restaurant 365? So I'll leave this up for a little bit to get some answers in. All right, still see quite a few answers rolling in, so we'll keep it up a little bit longer. Okay, just a little bit longer. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our Q&A. Ty and Nick will answer as many questions as possible. All right, so the first question is, are additional costs for R365 training professionals to help set up and convert current paper training into digital training on ExpandShare?
Yeah, so there is a self-service model where you do get access to a training coach, and what they'll do is really they'll sit with you, they'll help you get it organized and kind of coach you through it, but they won't actually do any of it for you. And then we do have pro services packages where you can have somebody either just take all the content that you've loaded into the system and get it organized by role, get it built out for you. So you have learning tracks, you have paths, pull down some of our industry essential courses that you requested. Maybe you have Toast POS or something like that, and we have training on it that you could pull in. And then we have another tier where we'll actually take your content and we'll make it a little bit more engaging, a little bit more impactful. And then we have a third tier where we will fully customize, brand new content. We could, we can even come on site and shoot video. We can create interactives. We can shoot your founder, talking about, what it means to work at our restaurant, we can do a number of different things. So there is an extra cost to that. It's not a SaaS fee though. It's a pro service fee. So it's a per brand cost. So it really depends on how much and what type of work you would like us to do.
Okay, great. And I have another one. I think this one should be for Nick. Is your food safety program accepted in New York City and Ohio level 2? Oh, Nick, I think you're on mute.
Sound better on mute, most people tell me. Yes, it is. Ohio is obviously a separate awarding body, which we have gone to and got the level 2 and 3 in Ohio and manage it in New York City. Yes.
Okay, great. And then can you talk through the different types of partners you work with in employee training marketplace?
Sure. Yeah. I just kind of briefly mentioned Toast, but we work with pretty much, you know, we work with a number of the top hospitality technologies. So OpenTable, um, Seven Rooms, Toast, Seven Shifts, RTI, Aloha POS, Square. It's so that we kind of run the gamut. I think we have 30 or so partners within the marketplace, and then we also have partners like US Foods that puts some templates in there for with regards to operational checklists and things like that as well.
Great. Can I tweak the training content so it lines up with our restaurant's own policies and procedures?
Yeah, once you pull the content down from the marketplace, it really becomes your content to edit. So you can go into the course and outside of making an edit to the video, if it is a video based training, you can drop a document in front of it, or maybe there's something that you want them to review, or you want to add some text, or you want to change the quiz around. You can tweak the content once you get it into your platform. You can also you can pull the content down and you can use it as just a template, and then you can swap out all of our stuff for for your content.
Great. Next one, will I be able to track which of my staff have completed their food safety certifications and know when they're due for renewal?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a full management system behind it. Whether you're 1 unit to 10, we can set that up so you will have access and you'll see everybody joining. I think I said joining, completing training, exam attempt, pass rate, and certificate stored there as well. So yes.
Yep. And then you'll also see that you'll see that within ExpandShare as well. They'll get a badge for whichever course that they completed, and that badge will expire when when they're up for renewal. So you will get notified, and the employee will get notified when their badge is coming up for expiration. So you'll get reporting within ExpandShare as well.
Great. Next one, with ExpandShare, can you upload SCORM files?
Yes. Yeah, we are SCORM compatible, so you can import if you're pulling content over from another platform, you could pull it into our system, and we'll actually help you do that as well.
Okay, great. And then another question, is it easy to implement without disrupting my day-to-day operations?
I mean, I would say yes. It really depends on what you're using today, but I think it's very easy to implement as I always recommend, like, hey, let's start by getting all of your managers in here, getting them up to speed, getting them trained within the platform, trained on the platform, and then you have champions within the restaurant. So yes, I think it's easy to implement without making too big of a change, especially if you are starting with just training your new hires because they haven't used anything else. So it's you know, it's all they know.
Okay, great. Well, I think that actually wraps up all of the questions that we have for today. So, Ty, if you could advance the slide for me, I'm going to go over an event that we have coming up. Great, thank you so much. Thank you, Ty and Nick, for your time today. Before we wrap up, I just want to share this slide for those interested in hearing more from industry leaders. We'd love to see you at our Restaurant Transformation Tour in New Orleans. It's coming up. This is a one-day event that offers tailored sessions for different restaurant roles, providing a really great opportunity to connect and learn. So go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen to learn more, and we hope to see you there. All right, well, this concludes our webinar. You will receive an email with a link to download a recording of the webinar to listen to again or share with your colleagues. Thank you again for joining, and we hope to see you all soon. Thanks again, everyone.